There are two opposing sides when it comes to the fate of Iran. On one side is the resistance and the struggle for freedom and establishing a democratic republic based on the separation of religion and the state. On the other side, there are the enemies of freedom who wish to maintain the religious tyranny in power or a return to the dictatorship of the Shah. In the front of tyranny, remnants of the Shah's secret police, Savak, are practically collaborating with the IRGC. In the front of freedom and democracy, freedom-loving youth, women, and those who have struggled against both dictatorships as well as oppressed ethnic groups are natural allies in the fight against dictatorship. The recent uprising in Iran was a significant turning point in Iranian developments. It forced the regime into a new era where the only way out is true overthrow. The main slogan of the uprising is "Death to Khamenei," demanding an end to the regime and for freedom for the Iranian people. In this uprising, Iranian society strongly rejects any return to the former dictatorship. The frequent slogan of "Death to the oppressor," be it the Shah or Khamenei, shows this desire. Your efforts to encourage the UK designate the IRGC as a banned terrorist entity are truly valuable. Thank you. Unfortunately, the West's long history of appeasing the Iranian regime has allowed the regime to use Western markets, companies, industries, the press, think tanks, and even universities to pursue its terrorist warmongering and unpopular goals. The Iranian people and their resistance hope that the British Parliament would lead the way in this regard, including designating the IRGC as a terrorist group, closing down the regime's embassies, expelling the regime's agents, and revoking their residential documents in the West. At the same time, the world should recognize the legitimacy and importance of the Iranian people's struggle to overthrow the regime and support the courageous youth in Iran who are fighting against the terrorist IRGC.
The PMI continued this resistance for more than 4 decades to achieve freedom and democracy, which would be impossible without having popular support and very courageous people making sacrifices. So today, no one can or should ignore the role of the PMI in any development in Iran. So the demands since the uprising started last September have been loudly rejected by both the Shah's one-party dictatorship and the current religious tyranny. One of the main slogans chanted all over Iran during the ongoing uprising has been "Down with the oppressor, be it the Shah or the supreme leader." This is the demand that the world must support, should support, and shows Iran is in the midst of another revolution. The efforts are deceptive and despicable and only serve Tehran's agenda by allowing the authorities in Tehran to intensify the violent repression and the deadly crackdown on the uprising. Moreover, their disinformation campaign against the NCRA and PMOI will only encourage us to increase our support for the NCRI, the PMOI, and in particular, Madam Rajavi and her 10-point plan.
The PMOI and the NCRI are central to that cause of freedom, as they have been for so many decades. It's absurd to think that men and women who long for freedom above all else would voluntarily return to a past where they were oppressed, denied their freedom, and the opportunity for them and their families and their children to prosper. The truth is that their attempts to censor the NCRI, to deny the support for the NCRI, demonstrates beyond doubt that they are afraid of the truth. And the truth is that ordinary Iranians every day are risking their lives inside Iran to spread Madam Rajavi's message of hope and a better future. We must also continue to support your efforts, the efforts of each and every one of you, to draw attention to the regime's abuses and refer it to the UN Security Council and press for the prosecution of those accused of crimes against humanity. And that includes the President of Iran, Ebrahim Raisi. And I, and Bob, and our colleagues in Parliament will continue to press the British government to proscribe the IRGC as a terrorist organisation.
As David quite rightly said, at the beginning we honoured our good friend, Sir David Amess, who very sadly was murdered in the United Kingdom doing his duty as a Democrat. Now we've got, both of us have, 2 books signed by more than 250 members of Parliament, be they MPs or peers, supporting the popular uprising in Iran and condemning the violent crackdown on protests which are led by the women and the youth of Iran. So here we're honoured to give those to you, Madam Rajavi, on behalf of the UK Parliament.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.